Thank you for being with us here in Baran-Bensa. So the first question is, after the judgment in the Electoral Bonds case today, how do you see it impacting the future political discourse of the country?
Well, they've tried to restore a balance to ensure free and fair elections in this country. That's really the heart of the judgment.
Right.
That you cannot have one political party aggrandize
Right.
and with the enormous economic power.
Right.
It will result in an imbalance in the process of elections. So basically at the heart of it is the free and fair election fundamental,
Right.
which is central to democracy and a basic feature of the Constitution.
So how do you see the judgment impacting corporate funding of political parties, given the checkered history of, ban and lifting the ban every now and then by the previous governments, including the Congress government?
You had in the past, the law was that if a company was making profits and not more than 10% of its profits in the past 3 years could be funded.
Right.
It could be given to a political party. That will remain, and then disclosures will have to be made in terms of the Representation of People's Act.
Right.
The problem is that the corporations do not wish to disclose
Okay.
who they are funding because they need favors from government. And if a quid pro quo is established between the donor and the government having given some kind of advantage to the donor, then that is a corrupt act.
Right. Right.
So therefore, corporations are wary of opening up information, giving information about who they are funding. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to fund political parties and have a free and fair election, then you should have it. You could have electoral bonds, but distribute them in accordance with the proportion of that political party in Parliament. It's as simple as that. So that
Right.
means the funding can come in, and if the BJP has a majority, it will get the majority of the funds. And if in a state the ruling party has a majority, which is a non-BJP government, that will have a majority of the funds, but it will be distributed in accordance with the strength. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. You can have other ways, but you can't have a system through which one political party, because it's ruling at the center
Right.
and giving out all the goodies to people,
Right.
aggrandizes 50% of the bonds, and they have gotten about 5,000 to 6,000 crores in this process. They have set up their offices. They have used this in elections. They have set up their, probably invested, given to the RSS, because this is nothing to do with elections.
Correct.
This is the bond which seeks to bond the donor with the political party. That's what it is.
Right.
Because the election, an MP can not spend more than 95 lakhs, and an MLA can't spend more than 45 lakhs in an election. That's the limit fixed.
Right.
And that they have their own funding. So therefore, this is certainly not meant to fund the candidates. It's meant to fund the party. And this scheme was devised by my good friend, late Arun Jaitley, for enriching the party, and they were able to do that, which is why you have a situation where nobody can compete with them because their economic power is enormous. So the Supreme Court has tried to restore that balance.
So is there any way the Government of India can bring back a new avatar of the Electoral Bond scheme?
Well, I think there's hardly any time for that. In any case, you can't get rid of the fact that this is illegal. So what they have actually been able to aggrandize is contrary to the law. So that's a very serious issue.
So one of your most important arguments in the Supreme Court was the right to privacy from the K.S. Puttaswamy judgment, and that has kind of been upheld by the Supreme Court today with respect to the right to privacy of the people who donates to the opposition parties. So how do you...
No, it says that, but it's not proportionate.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
To the concept of transparency.
Right. Right.
So therefore, to that extent, they have said that this is not override.
Okay. So how do you see your argument being, analyzed by the judgment by the Supreme Court
I
today?
read the judgment.
All right. And so, in one line, if you could summarize the Supreme Court verdict in the Electoral Bonds case and what it sets out for the future now.
Historic, tries to ensure a level playing field in the election, ensures transparency in funding, finds this right under the Right to Information Act, namely the right of the citizen to know who has funded which political party and to what extent through these bonds. ensures that the citizen gets to know all aspects of the funding so that he can take an informed decision.
Right.
Ensures that the political party which has got maximum of the funding, right, through these bonds should not skew the process of democracy. And through this information, we'll also get to know the kind of quid pro quo that has happened.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon.